Today is a big day because we are finally putting coilovers on the car. So we've upgraded from using our iPhone to a nice camera. So if it's a little dark or there's some shading that doesn't look that great, bear with me, this is just, I'm practicing. But today, we are going to be installing a set of reaction coilovers for my GE8 Fit. Now, these coilovers, I've never used these companies before. I actually went with them because Zosh did them on his Fit. And I said, you know, why not? They offered a Swift Spring upgrade, so I went and chose that. In the front, we have 8K. In the rear, we have 6K. From the reading forums and other websites, 8 front, 6 rear is kind of the sweet spot for a dailyable / trackable spring rate. So today we're going to be installing them. We're only installing the rears today, and tomorrow hopefully we'll install the fronts. I did order some new OEM top mounts, new rubber bushings for the top from Amazon. They should be getting here later today. But I don't want to reuse the old ones just because since I'm already in there, I might as well get new ones and replace the old bushings. So we're just gonna be doing the rears today, and that'll be nice because they're also easier. So we'll see how that goes. Let's jack up the car and get started. So all you're gonna need to do, the rear, is a 14mm socket. I have this extending to make it easier for leverage. This helped me a lot on the other side. But there's only one bolt holding in the shock, and then the spring, I just used a flathead to kind of pry it out, and I also stepped on the hub to kind of just give it less pressure. And then on top, it's another 14mm bolt that, yeah, super easy to take out the rear. So let's get it done. More leverage. So in order to get that bolt on the bottom, I realized that it's a good idea to drop the entire shock down just by taking out this plastic piece. You just take a flathead, pop it out, and to take out the top hat bolt, I'm using a long 14mm, and I'm gonna just put it inside here, and it's really not, you know, tight at all, so all you need to do is just ratchet it out, and it'll come right out. Now it comes right out. So now that the spring is out, now I'm going to try to basically match both shocks about the same height. It's not going to be super close, so we do want to lower the car, but we want to do most of the lowering from the spring perch. So this I'm just going to try to max, or try to get, you know, as close as I can without, you know, maxing out the height of the shock. So we should do this for a little bit until we get to a decent, it's pretty close. Now for the spring, I have a baseline height set. Once I get the wheels and drop the car, I'm gonna measure it and then adjust if I have to. But for now, we're just gonna put this in here. Just like that. And now we're gonna take this. You wanna reuse both of the poly whatever bushings from the old shocks. So just one on the bottom, and then you're gonna put it through and then sandwich the upper one and then put the 14mm bolt on. So let's go ahead. Where is there it is. Gotta get the screw or the bolt. I'm gonna put this in. Feed it through there. So obviously it's not all the way slammed. I do kind of want to get maybe another inch. Yeah, I think an inch minimum. So this is a good start. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more of the spring perch and lower that and see how that works. So let's go ahead, jack it back up, and keep working on it. Okay, so we got the rears dialed in. We basically maxed out the rear perch, the spring perch, and this is what it's looking like. So it's basically about like a barely 2-finger gap, which is fire. So now we gotta deal with the fronts. So the first thing we need to do is take off this cowl. And I think the very first step is taking off, I think this one, because, I don't know, maybe we didn't take that off, but I think we have to in order to access some other bolts like that. So let's just get this whole thing off and then, yeah. Okay, so after you get the wheel off, I sprayed all these bolts. So I sprayed the tie rod bolts with PB Blaster down there. I also sprayed all of the knuckle bolts with PB Blaster. Just make sure everything is easy and comes out. So we're gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes and then try to get these out. So one of the things I've seen a bunch of guys do is, since they're in the strut and under the wheel well, it's just a good idea just to replace the strut like bushing. So I got this off Amazon. Here's the part number. So yeah, we're just gonna replace the OEM ones with these brand new ones. So let's do that. So now, because it's starting to rain, I'm just gonna run through this and I'll do a voiceover. Okay. Hey, so it's Future Parker here, and nothing much really is happening. I'm just taking out everything, but something I didn't realize when I took the front left strut out is my CV axle popped out actually, which made it really hard to put the new coilover in. So we'll see how I handle that. So first you want to take this guy, make sure that's sitting properly. Then you want to take this upper bushing, and then you'll put this nut back on top. And then how it's gonna go is, once you set preload, put it back in the car, put this before going on. This will sandwich in between this part once you throw it in the car. So it'll go like this, and then on the top you put this part and the nut to finish it off. So before we do that, we wanna set preload. So for preload, you can tell that I basically put the mount enough so I could fit the nut on here without it basically bottoming out. But now, because we want to put it back up, what we want to do is basically just tighten that top collar so that the perch is basically snug but not too tight. So from there, with it being snug, we want to give it at least a full rotation up. That's about 2 millimeters of preload, which is kind of the sweet spot, I think, and just doing research. So we might adjust it further on, but for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it 1 full turn. So to do that, I'm gonna take just my Allen key, and I'm kind of just gonna scratch a mark on the top collar, so that way I know when it does a full rotation. So that is a full rotation. And now we're gonna take the locking collar and make sure that is locked. So here's where I realized that the coilover isn't wanting to fit in the knuckle, like just by the lower mount. So I still know something's wrong. I've heard there are axle issues when installing coilovers, but here's when I realize. So my axle wouldn't pop back in. So now we're headed to Walmart to pick up an impact and a hub socket to fix that. So at least I need an impact, and it's good to, apparently this happens pretty often on the Fits, so it's good to just get the right tools and a good learning moment. So here we go. So we're back from Walmart. We got the impact with the 32 millimeter on it. So now we just gotta zip this off. I need to pry back the little locking thing. So I'm gonna take a little flathead and get this, not pushed in there. And then I'm gonna get it off, and then we gotta wiggle it, CV back into the transmission, so. So after struggling with the axle for about 30 minutes, I ended up just having to take out the entire thing and then smash it on the ground for it to go like back in. But now, because I was just kind of frustrated, I got the coilover in finally. I'm bolting everything back up. I basically just ugga-dugga the hub bolt again. I need to take a flathead and just push that in so it's snug. Yeah, I'm just finishing up here. So I will update you once either I put it on the ground or, yeah, when I put it on the ground. So my dumbass was about to put the brake line back in, and I realized that when I took the axle out, I moved it underneath the knuckle so I had more room. And I did that after I torqued everything. So the wheel is back on. You can definitely tell there's a visual difference, but you can tell that the wheel is slightly towed out. And looking at it from this way, I also have almost positive camber. So we're gonna go back to O'Reilly's, get some camber bolts, and then come back again. Hopefully this will be the last trip. Okay, we've secured some camber bolts. These are SPC camber bolts, so I'm only doing the fronts, obviously. And then because when I took the axles out, they leaked, I'm just gonna throw in some transmission fluid that I have that I was gonna use for my Subaru, but I'm just gonna use this. I picked this up just to make it easier. So since I drained some out by accident, might as well just replace it all with some good stuff. So I'm gonna put these on real quick, dial in just the toe, camber, and then we have some new transmission fluid. So these are the Multiple Gear 300, pretty good stuff. So I'm gonna throw this in for the fit. It's gonna be perfect for our track day on Sunday. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this stuff in, and hopefully the car will be on the ground in the next hour, but I doubt that. So it's definitely been more than an hour. Still into the car. The tie rod is basically stuck, so I've kind of maxed out toe for my driver's side wheel. So I'm letting it sit in some PB Blaster. But I wanted to show you, I'm doing the gear oil change right now. And what's cool is that on a Honda Fit, the drain plug right here, or I guess all the fluid comes out of here to change the gear oil, is actually a 3/8 drive. So you can just use this guy to basically yank on it and it comes out. So that's kind of cool. I thought I'd share. So let's see if we can do this pretty cleanly. It shouldn't come out too fast. Sorry, I have it vertical. Okay, and I missed. That's great. It's okay. Always put cardboard down. So that last clip that you saw was a few days ago. It has been a wild ride kind of putting these coilovers on. I'm looking at the car right now. You guys have not seen the official ride height, but we had axle issues, we had toe and tie rod issues, but this is the somewhat dialed in look of the car. The car is somewhat ready for today, which is the first autocross day that I'm ever doing. So we're gonna see how the fit performs. Hopefully the coilovers, they are stiff, but hopefully that helps me today and gives me an advantage over the track. But I wanna say thank you so much for watching this video. It is on the longer side. There were a lot of edits, and halfway through my nice camera died, so I had to switch to the iPhone, but thanks for staying with me here. So this video in of itself was kind of more of a install / how-to. If you guys want to see more of how exactly I'm installing the parts of my car, I can do that. If you guys kind of want more just aesthetic, fun videos to watch, I can do that too. I'm trying to find the balance of how to make it informative but also fun to watch, but I'm still practicing. So thank you so much for watching again. This is Parker, Drive Your Heart Out, and I will see you in the next video when we take the car to the autocross.